One of the more embarrassing naming gaffes finally became acknowledged when the U.S. Naval Academy determined that dedicating important buildings to former Confederate soldiers was no longer fashionable or tolerable. The 34-room residence of the superintendent had been called the Franklin Buchanan Building since 1976. The edifice was located adjacent to the footprint of the former Maryland governor's mansion. Buchanan's legacy should have precluded any naming honors, particularly considering his track record during the Civil War. Buchanan joined the Confederate cause and commanded several naval battles that killed hundreds of Union soldiers. He had been chosen for naming rights since he had served as the first Academy Superintendent. The snafu came to light amidst an internal Naval Command review during May 2023. 2 ships, another Academy building, and several Academy street names with Confederate affiliations would be renamed. In the instance of the superintendent's residence, Admiral David Farragut became a superior replacement choice. Farragut was not only a Union Civil War hero, but also the first naval officer appointed Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, and finally, Admiral. Another Naval Academy graduate who chose the losing side of the Civil War was James Waddell. He married a local Annapolis woman and was commissioned in the U.S. Navy for 20 years before resigning his commission in late 1861 to serve the Confederate cause during the Civil War. In 1864, he was given the command of the CSS Shenandoah, a former British steamer once named the Sea King. He spent the next year attacking commercial shipping operations in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. He claimed to be unaware of the Confederate surrender during the spring of 1865, despite being informed of General Robert E. Lee's capitulation headlined in a San Francisco newspaper in June. He continued his rampaging and pillaging immediately afterwards, capturing 10 whaling ships within 7 hours just below the Arctic Circle. By August, he learned officially of the war's conclusion and the capture of President Jefferson Davis and his cabinet. He lowered his Confederate flag, dismounted his guns, and transformed his ship appearance into an ordinary merchant vessel. He would become the final Confederate officer to surrender his vessel to the mayor of Liverpool, England. Awaiting him was a probable hanging in the United States upon his return, as he had been branded a pirate. He would remain in England for 10 years before he requested amnesty from the American government for his wartime service. In 1875, he returned and found employment with a commercial steamship company based in San Francisco. Returning to his wife's hometown of Annapolis, he constructed a stately mansion across the street from St. John's College. He would spend the final years of his life as the head of the Maryland Oyster Regulation Force.